Good morning, fans all over the world. Welcome back to Chidan Media. All right. Today we're discussing one of the most controversial and issue in modern relationship and marriage. 50-50 in marriage. Some people believe marriage should be completely equal. Others believe marriage is about teamwork. A lot of people believe it's about sacrifice and supporting each other according to each person's ability. Okay. A lot of men would say, I don't want my wife who expects me to carry everything. You don't want a wife who expects you to carry everything. And on the other hand, you may find ladies saying, I don't want a man or I don't want to marry a man who expects me to become his second father. You understand? And somewhere in the middle are couples, trying to figure out what actually works. So today we'll be looking at this serious conversation, not a conversation against men, and it's not going to be a conversation against women. Okay, so we'll be looking at both sides, and I can assure you that before the end of this video, you will have um, to answer one or two questions that are premium and satisfying from what you've learned so far. Okay, so from my context, I would say, should marriage be 50-50, or should it be based on ability? Those abilities are not the same. Okay, yeah. Or should it be based on responsibilities? And lastly, circumstances. Okay, because life, people change, life changes. Nobody knows tomorrow. Okay, should it be based on ability, either from the man or the woman? It depends. Or responsibility, or rather circumstances. Okay, and please stay tuned until the end because I'm going to give you what I believe is the highest approach, not just the highest, the healthiest approach to financial responsibility in marriage. Okay, so please, guys, I'm live right now. I would like you guys to join in. Join in, though it's been a while, but I think it's something we just have to discuss. And please, please, please join in, join in, join in. Okay, okay. So let's start. I will start by saying, what does 50-50 actually mean? Like, what does 50-50 actually mean? Like, you're supposed to pose with this question, what does 50-50 mean? What would you say? For me, I would say 50-50, if we need to define it appropriately, we would say, okay, it's what people mean, what people what people perceive as 50-50. Interestingly, many couples are arguing about 50-50 without actually defining it. And that's the truth. For some people, 50-50 means you pay half, I pay half, you buy food for the week, I buy food for next week, you pay the bills, you pay the rent, you pay the school fees, while I do the little house chores expense. So everything must be equal. But in this context, both the man and the wife, they are totally wrong because it's something that has to do with agreement. Marriage is not a mathematical equation, and that's the truth. Okay, there are seasons in life, um, and there are periods when one person earns more than the other. Okay, there are seasons where you are more comfortable and more responsible to channel the bills of the family. Okay, and in these seasons, there are periods one person can lose a job. Okay, so seasons and periods are not the same. Responsibilities can never be the same. Okay, so there are periods when someone becomes heavy. There are periods when someone becomes pregnant. Not like he's lazy, but he doesn't have enough to finance um, the curriculums of the home, either as a man or as a wife. So there are periods when someone stays home with the kids. It's both sides now, either the man or the woman. And there are periods when someone starts a business. And you starting a business doesn't mean you are financially stable, but somebody have to foot those bills. And there are periods when your spouse, your partner becomes sick. What do? Do you expect that same person to foot the bills? Does this 50-50 episode reign? Okay, so that is another question we should be able to say, okay, what are we really? That was the reason why I said in the first place. It has to do with a consecutive agreement between you and your partner. So periods when someone stays at home with the kids doing nothing, is this supposed to be 50-50? Periods when someone starts a business, is this supposed to be 50-50? And there are periods when one person becomes sick and you need a lot of money to at least put that person back to shape over time. Is this supposed to be 50-50? So if your definition is equality, is that both people, is it that both people must, actually contribute efficiently, like exactly the same amount of money that happens in life-changing situations? Does this marriage suddenly become unfair? My answer is no, because fairness is not always the same thing as equality. Think about two people, for instance, carrying a heavy table. I think one person is physically stronger, while the other is a bit, shady. The other person is weaker. And if the stronger person carries 70% and the next person is the weaker version, what happens? At that scenario, the 50-50 circumstance will not reign. So, guys, I'm thanking you all for at least I'm seeing 11 people on my stream. I want to thank you once more. This is um kind of a family talk show because the thing has been wearing me all day. Like I had to bring it out to my viewers out there. Like let's talk about it because nobody is perfect. I'm married with 3 kids, and so far so good. I don't believe in this 50-50 thing. Sometimes I may be financially stable than my wife. She works, and sometimes she may be financially stable than me. Okay, and I don't think it should be a 50-50 thing. There are times she has to fund the bills, spending when I rise up, spending when I'm more stable. So I believe that same thing as equality. You know, think about two people carrying a heavy table. One person is physically strong, and the other person may be weak. So um, if the stronger person carries 70% and the weaker person carries 30%, does that mean the stronger person is being cheated? My honest answer is no. Okay, there are simply capacities, that overshadows the other in either relationship or marriage. Okay, that doesn't mean that same person will not stand up to start on. You understand? This is where many couples, get confused. So the 50-50 talk, or how would I put it, um issue with homes, like a lot of people say 50-50 is the best. They should agree on what if the man loses his job? What if the woman is not working at all? So it doesn't have to be 50-50. Marriage is something you should adapt because it's something that changes. Anytime it comes, you should be able to adapt. Yes, you should be able to adapt. That's the reason why you see a lot of people, because of inability to speak out at times, especially when you're carrying too much, you cannot speak because I don't know. A lot of men are ashamed to tell their wives that they are broke, that they don't have, that they need support, and they know that this woman has money somewhere. She has a savings account that you don't have, and because you want to always, reign as the man, You will suffocate yourself. Not cheating anybody in marriage, except you want to. So there should be fairness. If you say somebody is your wife, she should be able to understand when times changes. Yes, I'm not saying when you have you should pretend though, because a lot of men pretend, and at the same time, a lot of women pretend. I'm not saying anybody should pretend, but you should you should at all time, you know, show concern as a man, even when you don't have. Then for the woman should step up again. And when she has, she should be good enough, fair enough, to tell the husband that this is what I have on ground. Since we have this challenge, let's do this and let's see how we can solve the bill. Okay? So they are simply carrying according to their capacity. In family, you must carry according to your capacity. Okay? Marriage should not necessarily be about how much did you contribute. You know, there's this sentiment about ladies. Anytime they spend money, they keep ranting, and that is one thing about them. And you see them saying, "How much did you contribute?" It shouldn't be me. It shouldn't be just me alone. Are we both contributing towards the success of this family? And stuff like that. So another big question here is um, the biggest problem I see is the problem of being strict with, or being, you know, sentimental about bringing in a family is a big problem. 50-50 may sound fair, but sometimes it creates competition inside the relationship. You may not know, but that's the truth. Imagine a husband who comes home and says, "Why haven't you paid half of the electricity bill?" This is a man that is talking to the wife. And this same man is forgetting that by law or by preposition, he is the man of the house. And these are things he's supposed to do on a norm. So he shouldn't sound it out as if it's a right. It's not a right. But if he doesn't have and there's an agreement, then he can say a thing like that. Okay? So then the wife may respond, "I haven't been paid my salary, and that's why I'm unable to pay yet." And later the husband may decide to say, "Okay, fine, we agreed 50-50. Oh. Don't forget to." And the woman may smile to it. That same couple has a baby. This is a woman that has been home, she's heavy. You don't expect her to start doing extracurricular activities just to make ends, or you don't expect her to overwork herself, because this is something that is heavy. A woman that is heavy is as precious as gold. You don't have to work out just to make sure she make ends. I remember 50-50, like we said, is a very strict, and at times it becomes very dangerous, because marriage isn't supposed to, turn into two lovers into businesses. Marriage is not supposed to. Anybody can be the helping hand, because life happens, and that's the truth. You may be buoyant today, and your partner probably enough. What do? You don't have to stick to that rule that is 50-50. No, it doesn't work that way, especially isn't supposed as fighting over invoices. This don't really support at all. Okay, on a norms, it's supposed to be the man, but when things changes, it should just come freely. That makes it marriage. Okay, there is nothing wrong with financial accountability. Yes, I know. In fact, I would say Financial accountability is extremely important, but accountability, should not be removed compassionately. For ladies, you shouldn't look at your husband or wife and see an expense, or probably see an expense sharing partner. No. 70% in recent times has resulted to disrespect, dishonesty, fighting, and all sorts of vices that are not, welcoming to marriage. And that's the truth. So please, you see, when it comes to 50-50 thing, don't buy that idea. Just see your love, see your wife, see your spouse, see that person you love as your teammate. So even when she's bringing, she'll say, "This is mine." When a lady now a wife is not tagging you as mine, that means you are one. It shouldn't be something that, like, okay, fine, you had a meeting in that regard, like, okay, everything will have its 50. No, no, no. It's going to cause a lot of issues. So I'm telling you. If the man doesn't have all the finance to pay for everything, your husband is your teammate. It's not a subject for questioning. It's not a subject for announcement. Like a lot of ladies, the moment they are giving to you, even their family member, everybody will know about it. Which is very wrong. Which is very wrong. And for some men too, the moment they are spending, everybody will hear it. It's very wrong. That's financial displacement. You don't have to, when it comes to family, a lot of things you say should be on your own. It shouldn't be something you have to spell out. A lot of people were doing very well even before marriage. So marriage came and something happened. They had kids, something happened, and before you know, a lot of things happened, and the whole thing went off the drill. You will not blame them. You won't say they're not good. You won't say they didn't plan. The only thing we pray as partners in marriage is we pray for long life, we pray for prosperity, we pray for God's favor, we pray for we pray against crime. These people around, moving around looking for people to devour will not see us, will not see our children, will not see our family. That's our prayer. But anytime your partner is down, it is your civic duty to go and make sure that person is back to normalcy. So, like I always say, a lot of people will not believe this, but you see, marriage is the best refreshment in planet Earth. Oh yes. That's why you can see a man as a flex. He can go round. When he after moving around, he will still appreciate the wife. Do you know why? That is because he has gone wild, he has gone far and wide, and has seen that that woman he kept at home is still very loyal to him. Still understands, still gives him food, still gives him rest of mind. And that is why you can never compare what you have at hand with what you are planning to get. So that is it. So 50-50 in marriage. I would never even advise any man to even, like, because you may be buoyant today and tomorrow something may happen. Okay. Sometimes nobody plans of losing his or her job or business. And sometimes business can become shady. Okay, you may have bills to pay, and at that point in time, you may not be able to. If your spouse have enough, you can actually, Alpha babe, send me something. I would pay on a set date, okay? I have little financial difficulties. This is a normal thing. You are not a robot. You can't be making money every day now. People go broke not because they don't have wisdom. They go broke because, fine, that is the season. And when seasons changes, they will come back to normalcy. And you'll be a poor man today, in the next 24 hours can become a billionaire. I hope you know there are lots of platforms in the world currently. Like, you don't underrate anybody, because it's only a stupid person that would want to underrate a person. Because people are figures currently. They channel their zeal into different things you don't know, either online or offline. So for me, I would say anything you're doing legitimately, to chase money. You are chasing this money legitimately, more juice. Okay, you will never get denied when it comes to your time, and that's the truth. So shout out to Nor Noreld. Noreld, okay. Shout out to John Christian. John Christian, God bless you. God bless you. I see you. Hello, good morning. Chatting you from Nigeria. You're writing hello. Okay, hello to John Christian. Um, Nore, Nore, thank you. I'm Chidan from Nigeria. Okay. I just wanted to share a little piece of a little marriage talk for my fans. Okay. Getting married, you have to be yourself. There is no need for extravagance. There's no need for you don't somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with. You don't need to hype yourself or tell the person that you are okay. And there's nothing wrong in borrowing money from either your husband or your wife because you are one. And there's nothing wrong for a woman to pay bills. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. As long as they are team. That's why I said previously, they have to communicate and they have to be two in one. Like the team the teamwork is strong. They know what they are going out there for. Okay? So that's it. That's it. Thank you so much for at least joining in. I really appreciate you guys. Okay. So I would want you guys to still stay on the channel because we'll have a lot of things to unveil and talk about. You understand? Okay. Then back to our video, I would say, does this man have to pay everything because it's 50-50, or does the woman have to pay everything because it's 50? Now let's be honest. There's another extreme. Some people, will hear this conversation and immediately they will say, "What is this one saying?" You know, um, the man must provide everything, but is that always realistic? It's not. It's 50 against 100 because sometimes men face challenges. Me, I face challenges. Let's say husband earns 300,000 naira, monthly, and the wife earns around say 1.1 million naira per se, and they have three children. Take for instance, the wife earns 5 times more than or probably 3 times more than the husband. Should the husband struggle alone simply because he's the man? Um, I don't think it's a necessarily wise decision for the man to just struggle alone because he's a man. Okay, the woman has to come in. You see, marriage should not be a competition where the higher earner hides their income. Except she doesn't love you, except she's wicked. That's not the truth. Hides their income so they don't become responsible for the family. I know fathers are the breadwinners of the house, probably husbands. But that doesn't mean when the man is not financially buoyant, the woman cannot come in. Okay? If your spouse is succeeding, that success should benefit the family. I don't want to know if it's the man or the woman. As long as your husband is behaving. Yes. The reason why a lot of ladies don't, buy the idea of, supporting their husband is because some men, they misbehave. Yes, and when you are misbehaving, how do you expect your spouse to support you? But once you're behaving, I'm not saying you should like, but at least you know what and what to do. Don't disrespect her. She's a human being. She's your wife. There's a way you have this, routine meetings and plans in place of your welfare and that of the children. There are times she will come up and she will want to help you. And that's the truth. So if the wife earns 5 times more than the husband, or even if she earns 10 times more than the husband, that shouldn't be a yardstick. Okay? The husband cannot struggle alone because he's the the head of the family. Okay? And that's the truth. So guys, please, 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 I would like you guys to join in. Your comments are very, very important. Join in, join in, join in. Okay? Kindly join in. We're active. Kindly join in. Kindly join in. Join in, join in. A lot of spouse today, are hiding their money in most commercial accounts, you know, and some of them they don't have any intention of bringing it out because they don't even want to help their husband because they believe on this the man is the head of the family and stuff like that. 50-50 does not is not a good syndrome. It's not Nigerian. Okay, it's not anywhere in the world. It's not a favorable um platform or outline, that will benefit anybody because um there are no perfect moments in life. Okay, today you may be here and tomorrow you're somewhere else. Yeah, today you may be here and tomorrow you're somewhere else. Guys, join in, join in, join in, join in, join in. Okay, shout out to Join Christian. Thank you very much. I saw your message. God bless you. Okay, God bless you. God bless you. Every marriage has its own circumstances, like we all know, and the problem begins when one person feels entitled. You understand? So if a woman, for instance, earns more and willingly contributes more, you know, it's a big thing for the family, a very big thing. And if the husband deliberately refuses to contribute because probably the wife earns more than him, and rely on the wife for every other responsibilities in the home, then the man is a wicked man. And at this point, that is exactly what we are not even talking about in this video. Okay, your wife is earning, and she decides to, okay, fine, bring part of her income into the house to make sure she puts a lot of the bills and finance the well keep of the children. And this man completely, like, he doesn't even bring in a dime. Like, he completely erodes himself from the responsibilities of the house. Then that man is not, supposed to be a husband. He's not. So no matter how, tight your corner may be, you know, you are supposed to, as a man, there are things, little things, you are supposed to tackle as a man in the house, no matter how broke and how uncertain you can be. Okay? So that is it. So likewise for the women, if a woman earns more and uses her income to constantly, humiliate her husband, control the man, propel the man to nothing. That is not a good one. That one alone, say you don't already use your hand, you are destroying your marriage. The fact that you're richer than your husband, you have better earnings than your husband, it doesn't mean, probably your spouse, doesn't mean you should, you know, be sending him on an errand, you know, that the children are supposed to, or, or be rubbishing him in the presence of the children and all that, or asking him to, or shouting on him, disrespecting him. A lot of women are fond of that act, and it's not a good one. Okay? Don't humiliate your husband because you are richer. Nobody knows tomorrow. Okay? And at the same time, you are killing your marriage. That's the truth. You are silencing your marriage. You see, God gave us money, not for anything. He gave us as people in marriage and as people together as one. The money there is to build the family. Yes, money in marriage is meant to build the family. It shouldn't become a weapon for destruction. If it's the man that owns the money, don't use it against your wife. Don't say because you have money, you start, behaving in ways that are not okay. You start maltreating your wife or your children. You start misbehaving as a man, which is not good. Okay, the best thing you should do is just be at your best. Make sure your family is happy. The moment your family is happy, anything you put your hand will prosper. So that is it. So money should build the family. It shouldn't become a weapon. Money should not become a weapon. It should build the family. So that is it. So guys, join in, join in. If you're active, just say hello. Just say hello in the comments, okay? I would appreciate you. Okay? So join in. 50-50 in marriage. What's your take on it? Join in, guys. Join in. Join in. Oh, pick up check. Guys, join in. Fifty-fifty in marriage. What's your take on it? What's your take on it? 50-50 in marriage. What's your take on it? Some years ago, I never had anything doing. Okay, yeah. Unemployment is what happens in a man's life at times. So what happens when one spouse loses their job, probably don't have or doesn't have anything doing? What do? You don't have anything doing. What do you do? Do you tell them sorry, or you still want to abide to the rule, like it's a 50-50 thing when you know that this person is unemployed? And at times in a man's life, the man may decide or the woman may decide to you know hold on. How many? All right. All right. So as I was saying, at times in a man's life, okay, the man may fall sick, you know sickness is unplanned, and then the woman may fall sick as well. You don't know. Nobody knows the year. Nobody knows the month. And when this thing happens, you know, their earnings becomes limited. Um, the services they rendered can no longer, go on and stuff like that. What do you do at that junction? Do you now say because your partners everything still remains 50-50? So my honest pick, I would say, you know, 50-50 for me, it's automatically bad. For me, it's automatically bad to say 50-50. Rather, I will pick teamwork over 50-50. Anybody that is, um, financially stable and financially responsible should be able to, pick up the home and reunite the home, put up the smile in the faces of the kids, and make sure everything is going on as supposed. That is what is supposed to be. Okay? So nobody plans to lose his or her job. Nobody plans to be sick, you know? And marriage requires flexibility, you know? On the norms, it requires flexibility. So whoever is financially stable and you know more comfortable should be able to give 100% assist to the other spouse. Yes, that is on how joy can come into the home. So guys, please join in and contribute. Okay, what do you have to say about 50-50 in marriage? What do you have to say? Please join in and contribute. Join in. What's your take on 50-50? Is it an option that is bad or good? Okay. What's your take on 50-50 in marriage? For some couples, it works perfectly well. Oh. I don't know how they do it. Maybe both partners earn similar salaries and they have equal rights. The same as it's supposed to be. Some ladies will tell you it's equal rights. So join in and tell me what's your take on it. What's your take? What's your take about um, the marriage thing being 50-50 with your spouse? Okay, 50-50. Join in. You can drop your comments. Okay. Shout out to John Christian. I see you. God bless you. Okay. So guys, join in. So for me, I would still keep saying this. I know a lot of people will say 50-50 somehow it's favoring them, and some people will say it's not like a totally bad idea, for some couples it works perfectly, cool for them. Maybe both partners they earn similar salary, like I said earlier, and maybe they have no children yet. Yes, they no get pikin. They feel they run that 50-50 marriage. You understand? Maybe both have financial independence. You get where they source money, not really from salary alone. Then you go they do competition because you see this thing called 50-50 is competition. That's how I see it. So you can actually put up an argument here and tell me your reasons why it's really not a competition. That if it's working for you, you understand. So maybe they agree that household bills should be divided equally as partners. maybe they both have financial independence, like I said earlier. So there is nothing wrong with, this 50-50 syndrome to them because they feel it's a normal thing. But the problem here is when you are forcing 50-50 itself, when you are forcing 50-50 itself to your partner, like you're telling him or her that this marriage is going to be 50-50, then it becomes a problem. You can't. The problem of forcing 50-50 when circumstances don't support it. When you know that this person, his or her earning is very, saying the person should do 50-50. So it's absolutely not possible. You understand? So that's just it. Come now, they make noise. Oh, wanna let me do my video in peace. So guys, please join in. Oh, join in. Please drop your comment, okay? Please drop your comments about 50-50 in marriage. What's your take on it? Okay. Shout out to everyone who has dropped their comments. I really appreciate you, and thank you all for at least joining to the my live video today. It's been a while. I've not actually come live, but you can go through my videos, and you have a lot to learn over there. You have a lot to learn over there. Okay, so please join in. Okay. Join in. Guys, join in. A lot of people have been talking about marriage being 50-50. What's your take on it? What's your take on it? What's your take on it? For me, maybe marriage shouldn't be 50-50 financially. Okay? Yes. Marriage shouldn't be 50-50 financially. Maybe marriage should be 50-50 in commitments, 50-50 in honesty. Yes. Make wahala no dey. Even if you know dey see am like that, e suppose dey like that. 50-50 in commitments, 50-50 in honesty. Okay? 50-50 in respect/responsibility. Your partner no fit dey try, you go just lock up. Even ordinary salt you no fit buy. No. Still dey na teamwork. You cannot work alone. That's why sometimes your spouse may get angry, not because she really wants, nobody got her upset. It's because they carry bills, they carry load, im head full. Im head full. So there are times you just talk like this, you want to spark. And that's the truth. So sometimes, even when you don't have much, the little you can offer, you support your marriage, you support your home because you know you are not going anywhere. This is a marriage that has produced kids all over. You go nowhere except you're a lunatic. You don't know what you're doing. But as long as you know what you're doing, you have kids. Where are you looking up to? If your husband is somebody you know, you understand, you can move on with him. These days, I see a lot of broken homes. Any man or any woman that decides to leave his wife or husband without tangible reason is a fool. Where are you going to? Oh, you think there are good people outside, like you have Mr. A outside. Nobody like that. You manage what you have. You manage what you have. And you create a scenario of joy in your home. Make it count. And that is it. So gone are those days where people will just sit and any little thing a man does, you just step out and that of the lady, any little thing you feel the man is a bad person, is a cheat and stuff like that. The next thing you step out. For me, it's not always the best. You know, it should be something that is very, very concise. When you look at it, you relax. You look at it again. You don't have to step out of your marriage because probably you feel your husband or your wife it's not behaving. No. Okay? You don't give rush verdicts to marriage. You don't just sign up in marriage. You don't do that. You can do that in relationship, but don't do that in marriage. I can tell you for free that a lot of men, I know people will say, what is he saying? A lot of men who left their wife because they felt they are doing this, that they are even regretting it today. I'm telling you. And I will tell you for free, 95% of women who left their husband, probably because they feel these men are cheats. Probably because they feel these men are so inconsequential. They are not really what I want. They are not submissive, they are not respectful, they don't know how to treat a woman and all that. They are suffering today. And that's the truth. That's the honest truth. So you must be at your top at all time when it comes to marriage. Yes. Don't despise your partner no matter what. Okay? If he has to provide for the home, fine. If he doesn't have, do your best to make sure you bring back normalcy. It doesn't change anything because that person that was down today may rise tomorrow and things will come back to um normalcy or become same. Okay? So, like I said earlier, maybe marriage should be 50-50 in what? In commitment. Maybe it should be 50-50 in honesty, 50-50 in respect. Yes. 50-50 in loyalty. Yes. A woman that is loyal to the husband deserves respect. Yes, because she's loyal. It should be 50-50 in communication. Yes. Some spouse they have a time frame of calling each other. And once it's that time, you see they leave whatever they are doing to call their spouse. And that's the truth. So 50-50 in protecting the relationship. Even at that, the actual responsibility cannot still be equal. Who is the man? The man is the head of the home. You have to play more role. As long as you're not handicapped, as long as you are okay, you are in good and sound health, you must do your best. So that's just the truth. That's the truth. So that is it. So as a wife, you cook more. Yes, as a wife, you cook more food. Why the man will pay more bills? It's not a bad thing. As a wife, you take care of the children. You stay with them. Hmm? Why the man works hours long? He works hours longer. Yeah, why you take care of the kids? Okay? And in another situation, one other person handles, the family business. One person handles the family business while the other manages the home. So different responsibilities in prospects. It doesn't necessarily mean unequal value. So for wives, anything you do, you recall, I did this, I did this. You see, there are dangers to it. So the danger of keeping score. I bought this chair, I did this and all that. And that's the reason why sometimes they can be, extinguishing red flags in 50-50 relationship or marriage. Women, they don't forget when they buy the food. They don't forget when they fuel the gas. They don't forget when they pay the rent. That's why it's even better for a man to go and take or borrow and fix the rent and take from the partner. Even when you don't understand your partner, if she go announce you one day, you know. So they will not forget. So they don't forget anything. Even the car, if they buy you anything, they will remember. They will write the date. They have the date. The very day they will mention the date to you, you'll be very shocked. You understand? They will tell you the dates they pay the rent and the children's school fees, even the Christmas clothes they bought and stuff like that. A lot of women talk, and that's why 50-50 does not work in a country like this, like Nigeria. It doesn't. They will even tell you the day they bought you a phone. Probably you have a bad phone and later they change your phone. It becomes an issue. They will tell you the very day they bought a phone for you. And probably you're not financially stable, something happened, probably your mom is sick and they finance the bills and all that, probably the support to what you have. They will tell you the very day they paid your mom's hospital bill. So that's the woman for you. And that sometimes she may specify that she has done a lot of things for you that you can't even remember, you know. And at some point, relationship becomes an accounting exercise. You know, they will keep on telling you, and sometimes you feel dejected. A healthy couple should know their financial responsibilities. And I must repeat, they shouldn't use every contribution as an ammunition, during arguments. If you understand, a healthy couple, should know their financial responsibilities. But they shouldn't use every contribution, they make, like, all this, I need this and all that, as ammunition during arguments. It's not a good one. If you voluntarily help your spouse and then remind them of it you're reminding them of it every month, you have arguments, or every week you have arguments, or every year you have arguments. Ask yourself, is it really going to help a marriage? Or is it a future weapon that is fashioned against the family? And that's why you see some men, the moment any woman is telling them, I want to give you this, they'll tell you, don't worry, I don't need it. Not because they don't need it, but because they don't want this kind of questions and answer tags to come later. They just want to manage within themselves. They just want to manage around their circle and avoid troubles. Okay? So that's it. So guys, join in 50-50 in marriage. What's your take on it? 50-50 in marriage. What's your take on it? 50-50 in marriage. What's your take on it? So guys, join in. Let's talk. All right, guys. Let me hear from you. I want to hear from you guys. Okay. Let's settle these comments once and for all. Okay. Um, Husbands, or probably a husband earns 1 million and the wife earns 200,000. Should they pay 50-50? Another question is, if the wife earns more than the husband, you understand, should she contribute more as a wife? Then question three, should married couples have joint accounts? Because of this 50-50, talk or pattern. Hmm? Is this something that is good? So please, the comment section is open. You can actually share your comments. Then question four, is a woman, if a woman decides to provide for the home, is she financially being unreasonable? That's question four. And I have an answer to that question. Okay. Then question five is a man who expects his wife to contribute financially. Probably if a man who expects the wife to contribute financially irresponsible. I have an answer to that as well. Okay. So please guys, join in. Let's talk more on this. Let's discuss and get to our final destination. Okay. So please tell me your honest opinion. We don't mean any insult here. Don't insult anybody. Don't attack men. Don't attack women. Just explain your experience and your own factual reasoning. You understand? Okay. And don't forget at the end, you see, marriage is not it's not a business transaction. It's not. You're not supposed to wake up every morning and ask your spouse, what did you contribute today? It's not a business transaction. It's not. So falling back to upbringing depends on how you were brought up. No matter how you were picked up or how you were brought up, just know it's not a good tradition. It's not a tradition that favors the men, probably the women. But the honest pick is as partners in marriage, your spouse is supposed to be your teammate. You should cooperate and see yourself as one, okay? Without noise. Yes. With one major goal, like we are going somewhere and we are together. We are partners, we are together, we are going somewhere. So marriage can only work without sentiment. Marriage can only work without the lady believing that she is the alpha and omega. Okay? So like I'll keep on saying, marriage is the best refreshment ever in planet Earth. And please, you that is married, don't allow society to dictate the financial structure of your marriage. Build a system that both of you understand. And no matter how small, accept it and live with it. You accept it and you live with it. Okay? 50-50 in marriage, what's your take on it? Is it a smart idea or a big mistake? Please drop your answer in the comments. And if you disagree with me, that's perfectly fine. Okay? But the most important thing, just drop your comments and let's talk about it. I would really appreciate if I see your comments. Okay? Drop your comments and as well like the video and subscribe to the channel and share this very video with someone who needs to hear this conversation. Okay, so guys, please join in. Then for the wives who always like to announce anything they do in their husband's house, I did this, I did that. Let me tell you something. Marriage is not about keeping scores. That is where you're missing out. A lot of you, I don't really understand. You don't copy good things, you copy bad things. A lot of you. Marriage is not about keeping scores. It's about building together. It's only single ladies or people that are not actually married that keep scores. The moment you are married, you don't need to be keeping scores. Anybody that has succeeded in initiating that habit in you is not a good person. Go and check their lives. Okay? You would not see because you're a product of a home where your mother financed a lot of things in the house and carried responsibility. That because of that, and you know how she announces that because of that, when you get married and probably you're financially more stable than your husband, you start announcing. It's a wrong notion. It's a no go. Okay? So guys, 50-50 in marriage, is it smart or a big mistake? For me, I told you guys already, it's never a smart idea. Okay? It's not a smart idea. So it's better you bring your spouse closer, have an agreement, you work together to make sure you grow your home. Because marriage favors two partners, selectively and sincerely, who has made up their mind selectively and sincerely to swallow. Yes, they made up their mind to sincerely and selectively to swallow, persevere, be patient, just to carry out and move on with their family activities. That is it. So if you don't have patience, you don't have this trust thing for your partner, you don't have this perseverance, you don't have this resilience, because sometimes marriage can be very tough. You will tear away. If you have any comments about this video, I would like you to share your comments. Okay, since you're still active, I would like to share your comments. And sooner or later, I will see you on a very extinguishing topic entitled today. Okay, it's going to help a lot of homes. It's going to help a lot of people, get updated with things happening within and outside the country. Apart from that, within and outside the workspace. Okay, so thank you once more, and I'll see you on the next video. Do have a blissful week. Sorry, do have a blissful weekend ahead, and a happy Sunday in advance. God bless you, and bye for now.